now that you're being entranced by my art skills, I figured now I will hook you further by discussing a topic that has been plaguing my existence since January, and it has everything to do with Yuta. It's Inuokko. I may have brought them up a few times on this channel, and then yeah, you know these two, my boys.
My boys.
Yeah. Listening to like Cruel Summer or something, and then Inumaki just walks in and is like, he's just like doing the high notes, like, hey, looks upgraded like it now. Yeah, got them together. Best partner would be, out of all the JJK people, Yuta. Okay, look, I get that Yutamaki is the main ship, but just listen.
Open your mind!
I mean, you got the introvert ex-introvert ship, Sunshine, but they're both quiet, chronic insomniac ex-chronic sleeper, flirty ex-flustered, but they're both flustered, character raised to be unlovable ex the literal love warrior who loved a girl so much he cursed her, plus the fact that Yuta is the only one that can understand Toge and is the only one to do so at first. I've seen some AUs where Yuta and Toge communicate with sign language, and that's sweet, and that alone makes their dynamic stand out, but there's more. I need to talk about JJK Zero because that movie is amazing, but I need to talk about this, okay? The fact that it's revealed that Toge cared about him pretty much since he arrived, because he recognized how similar their journeys were, and they are. The fact that they both grew up with a nearly uncontrollable curse and guilt and felt unlovable already gives them an instant connection. Stuff like this is literally the foundation of romance, people. The fact that they have this significant part of themselves in common is important because that's something only they have. They felt outcast because of it. They get each other. Not to mention that Inumaki consents when Yuta is anxious and helps him during their mission. Literally, probably their second interaction together, Toge can understand Yuta's feelings of anxiety. Do you know how helpful that would be in a relationship? Yuta is an anxious mess. He needs someone who can support him emotionally like that. And in turn, because Yuta can understand Toge, that's something that Toge needs in a relationship. Also, on their mission, Toge did not have to stick his tongue out like that. You know, that clip that's used in every Inumaki edit ever? Like, how did Yuta not see that and feel his heart go a little pitter-patter at that, you know? They get each other. Also, the fact that Yuta literally learns cursed speech because of him. And perhaps most convincingly, the fact that Toge, who has cursed speech and can't talk with normal words or else he'll curse people, the only name he's canonically ever said is Yuta's name. Okay, if Yuta was a girl character, that would have been endgame for most people. Most people immediately would be shipping this. Like, that is just... If you have a character like that, that is just... Do you know how much that means? And the fact that after that, this is what allows Yuta to call upon Rika to help him fight against Geto. They are both misunderstood as a result of their curses, but they both recognize how kind the other is. Even in the series itself, there's a scene where Panda says that Inumaki is softer when Akotsu is around. Okay. Also, at the end of season 2, the fake reason Yuta tells the council about why he's executing Yuji isn't something like, oh, he let Suka now, or he killed a ton of people, which is absolutely reasonable, but he hurt someone I love so much, so they must die. God, I love how Yuta only goes to feral when protecting the ones he loves. He genuinely looks so pissed off here. I just love his duality. He's like scary when he gets feral. Also, the way Inumaki looks in his POV, like, you see this, like, okay, if this is how Yuta sees Inumaki here, like, okay. It doesn't take a lot of brain power to see how compatible these two are. Despite lack of scenes, just considering their POVs and how similar their situations were, how they both felt a sense of feeling trapped, and yet are both so kind. With Yuta wanting to love and be loved, wanting the courage to know it's okay to be needed by someone, stemming from him having a lonely childhood and weird love experience with Rika, and how isolated and traumatic Toge's life must have been, feeling cut off from relationships, with him being kind enough to not speak and curse people, how hard his life must have been with people judging him for his curse and being able to navigate through life. This is just speculation because I haven't read the manga, but I'm sure his cursed speech, like his bloodline knows that it's like a curse, so they probably didn't want him to like get with a girl anyway, but you know, if he got with Yuta, that'd be okay because they just can't have kids, that's fine. Even if he learned sign language, the odds of the other Jujutsu sorcerers knowing it are pretty low, but I feel like Yuta would learn specifically for him, even if not in a romantic sense, because, you know, he would do that even just for a friend. Both of them are cursed children who are too pure for this world. Both who did harm unintentionally and felt guilt for it, feeling unworthy because of it, yet are so kind and empathetic to others. Yet despite both of their harsh upbringings, they still put themselves through the hell of the JJK world and were kind enough to want to protect others since they knew what it was like for innocents to suffer, and it was a place for both of them to be accepted. Despite his limited communication, Toge would still showcase his feelings and love through other means, and that's beautiful. So it makes sense that this type of ship, which is already unique, where they both can communicate so effectively, with Yuta fittingly being able to understand Toge only saying Yuta's name, between two boys who just want to love and be loved works so well. A boy who wants to express his love and feelings freely next to a boy who would listen and do anything for those he loves. The literal love warrior who goes into a feral state and would kill for him. Two boys who want to help each other out and understand one another while also not believing they deserve it. They are a whole other level of fluff, which normally would be flat, but in this case works because they go through so much. They need it. Their fluff gives you butterflies. They're just cute in a way I can't describe, especially with how special their connection is, both on a deep level and with the whole communication thing. It really makes you think about the intricacies and how they'd live together since it would look so different for them. So this is where you kinda gotta use your head a little. By the way, I haven't read very far in the manga, so as of where I am, Yuta's only just arrived and hasn't reunited with Toge yet. I like to imagine the longing they probably had, especially Toge, while Yuta is gone for a year. I like to imagine once he returns and Inumaki sees him, there's this moment of shock because they both look older. And Toge is flustered because when did he get this hot when he used to be cute, and the height difference as well. Lots of cute opportunities with that. Inumaki would 100% do most of the teasing, but when Yuta teases back, he gets flustered and doesn't know what to do. I feel like Yuta would carry Inumaki around because Inumaki makes him. They'd both be very cuddly, mostly fluffy. They're both very touch-starved. Maki and others would be sick of it. It's cool because Yuta's this gentle giant character who looks edgy and intimidating on the outside, but he's such a cinnamon roll, and Toge's more likely to be feisty, but they're both really sweet. And they're both so compatible. It's also interesting to consider how Rika would feel about the situation. They'd also be such a power couple. Like, I read this fic where Yuta uses his reverse curse technique, and he could hold on to Toge's throat and heal him as he's cursing, and they'd be basically invincible at that point. I also love the idea of a Harry Potter AU where Yuta's a Slytherin but Toge's a Hufflepuff. Someone make this AU because I've seen fan art of it and it's amazing. It kind of fits with Yuta being misunderstood and seen as intimidating and related to Gojo, and then Toge could be like an outcast from the house for outcasts, and the idea of two opposite houses being together is just, I mean, yeah, Yuta could be Gryffindor or Hufflepuff, but it's more interesting if he's Slytherin. Yuta would be like this feared seeker or prefect for the Slytherin team, and Toge would go to all his games. By the way, just look at the official art. Also, please check out Birthday Date. I literally made a video on it, and more people need to know it exists, because it's such a good game. Basically, the premise is that it's Yuta's birthday, and he's signed up for a patrol because he's Yuta, and you're trying to get him and Toge together. And it's really sweet. You have 3 endings. One is the bad ending, one is the okay ending, and one is the good ending. I'm not gonna spoil what happens in each one. You can play it. It's a free site. I'll link it down below. And, ooh, I started adding highlights. Anyway, back to the drawing. Okay. It's coming along. Apologies if I was, like, shouting a lot in this video. I got really riled up. That's probably the loudest I've ever been in a video. Alright, here's the reveal. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day, and happy Pride.